huge. They're wonderful people.
Good morning.
Morning.
If it's okay with you, the reason why I'm videoing today is because I've been asked by Ashkelon and Ashdod and the places down south to help them as well. I'm hopefully going today or tomorrow to work with the psychology staff there. And there are people who very much would like this information, and there are only so many places that I can go to. So I'm hopefully going to be able to make it available for them. So if there's anything, we're going to do some group discussion and sharing. If there's anything that you do not want, because you're not going to be on camera anyway, so nobody will know what you're saying. I want everybody to know that this is a safe place to talk about what's going on. And I ask of everybody in the room that if people are talking about personal things, that it doesn't leave the room, that everybody respect the confidentiality of what's said in the room, so that each of you can feel comfortable to talk about what you really need to talk about. Okay. My name is Dr. Sheldon, and I guess I should tell you a little bit about my background. I don't know if you don't know who I am. I'm licensed in Israel as a clinical and medical psychologist, also as a hypnotherapist. I'm licensed in America as a marriage, family, and child therapist and hypnotherapist. I've been in practice for about 35 years, and before making Aliyah, I was the director of a multidisciplinary health center specializing in behavioral medicine, and specifically stress disorders. So I think you'll find that I have a lot of information, and not only information, but if you want to go beyond information and actually be able to get what you need for yourself today, I'm here to do that. I have prepared, come on in.
No, it's cool. Thank you.
Okay. I've prepared about 45 slides and all kinds of information, but the truth is that I like to give my presentation based on what it is that you need. And I don't know what you need yet because I haven't met you. So what I'd like to do is to start off by just going around the circle, saying your name, maybe when you made Aliyah, if you'd be willing to, and of course nobody has to, but what I like to do when I give a presentation is I like to give everybody an opportunity to say really what do you really need, and hopefully by the end of this session I will give you what it is that you need, and this is something that obviously would require a lot of discussion. But I want each of you to feel, I'm sure you came here for a reason, that you're going to get what it is that you want. Would you like to begin?
Sure. Okay, I'm Tara.
Sarah?
Tara.
Tara.
We made Aliyah almost 3 years ago to the north. We worked in a youth boarding school orphanage for 2 years as Modiin. So that's why my children Hebrew so well. Now we recently moved to Modiin, and this is their first real experience. In 2012, we were so far north, we didn't experience any azakot or anything from the war that was then for a few days, and this is their first, and we're here so that especially my 12-year-old can get a sense of relief, as this has been really difficult.
So what do you need?
What do I need? Wow, okay. Oh, with this specifically. Basically, I need my kids to feel safe and comfortable. I'm kind of at peace with my own, I studied politics and world history and global politics, and so I know what's going on, and in my opinion, I think it should continue until Hamas is stopped. But at the same time, I want peace for my kids and them to not be afraid so much, and afraid to go to the mall because they might hear drsimcha, or afraid to go to the pool because they're afraid. She's 12, and I sometimes step out of the house alone, and I leave her at home alone for a little while, and 15 minutes is too long lately because she's so scared. She's going to be home alone with drsimcha, and I just want her to have peace with that.
Anything that you need for you?
Hamas wiped out. Gone. That's it.
What's your name?
Lea. Lea.
Leila. What do you need?
A personal reminder.
A what?
A personal reminder.
A personal mama. That is great.
Like a bubble around your
I
side.
am going
exactly.
to give you and everybody here a way of creating a personal mama. That is wonderful.
Brilliant.
Wow.
You got the right
That
answer.
is great.
Did you put them here so that you didn't?
Wow, that's still nothing yet. What's your name? Huh?
Okay.
Rachel? Hi. What would you like today? Another cookie? How do you feel about what's going on? You don't want to talk? It's okay. You rather not talk? Excellent. Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
My name is Elena.
Helena.
Yes.
Yes.
We have mama in the mind at home, but I'm afraid about my grandchild because she is very afraid when we hear Sirena, and she's afraid and I and my daughter we don't know how to explain and to say about these events.
Okay. Can I ask you, maybe can you go next door and just ask if somebody could lower the fan on here so I can hear what's being said? Yeah. So you have to speak a little louder because there's a lot of echo in the room. You're concerned about your granddaughter?
What?
You said you're concerned about your granddaughter?
Yes,
Is there a roll? Nobody's here. How does that affect you?
She's afraid when she
Somebody's phone is going on. Is it just on or off?
what?
It's just on or off? There's no fans?
No, I turned off the fan.
Oh, great. And it's still going. Great.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. And how does that affect you?
I talked about war, about this a little bit, but I prevent to see TV. But I watch TV, and a lot of time in the Facebook and read a lot of information about the war. But when I have read this, I'm afraid more because I see it's not the end of this war. And somebody doesn't know how to finish this war.
Okay, very good.
And this
Very important.
gave stress.
Very important. Thank you. And I'm happy. It's very important because I can say this is especially true for women who are, it's stereotypical and it might be called sexist, but it's the mitziyut, that women, especially of your generation, are raised to be focused on taking care of everybody else. And so you started about your granddaughter, but then you went about yourself. And it's very, very important because one of the ways that people deal with stress and trauma is they dissociate from their own feelings and focus on something else. And that something else might be taking care of somebody else. And so that might be rewarding, and you might be telling yourself, you know, wow, I'm really a good person, I'm doing the right thing. And it's true, you are being a good person and you are doing the right thing. However, you're not taking care of yourself. And as I say in the airplane, put on your own mask before you put on the mask of your child. And it's a very, very important principle. Very, very important principle. So thank you very much. I'm happy that you got to that place. And if you take a look at what enabled you to get to that place.
My problem that we have not a good verbal connection with my granddaughter.
Okay.
Because after the school, after Kaitana, she wants only to watch Mark, to walk, to play, and she don't want to speak with me.
Okay,
This is
okay,
also-
okay, I'm gonna cover a lot of the things that you're saying. I'm gonna cover all of it, okay? I'm writing it down, I'm gonna come back to it. I'm not gonna talk about it now, I'm gonna come back to it. I'm writing this small because I'm writing it for me. I don't expect you to see it. I'm going to talk about it. Great. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Laura. I made Aliyah about 3.5 years ago
From where?
from Houston. And my daughter made Aliyah about a year before that. So we grew up in a very Zionistic family. And
Very what?
a Zionistic family. So she said to me, Mommy, when I have children, you're going to have to stop working for 6 months and you're going to have to take care of my children. I'm like, yeah, right, I'm going to. So it gave me the idea of thinking, you know, I'm the one who always wanted to live in Israel, so I made Aliyah. And I guess what concerns me the most is that her husband is in the military, and whenever he goes near Gaza, you know, he's not fighting directly in Gaza right now because he has he's in Modiin, he's in intelligence, and he's we're not sure he's going to be a career officer, but he's already pretty high in the system, and I guess that would be a concern. That's my concern, that he's really close to Gaza. He goes there often, and my daughter, and he's very, very nervous.
Take it, close your eyes a second. Is it all right? You don't have, and by the way, nobody has to do what I ask you to do, okay? Because look, I'm a therapist, okay? And I work with people very, very deeply. And my thing as a therapist is I help people very quickly get to the real issue instead of talking for 5 months and then starting to figure it out, okay? If you want to go there with me, great. If you don't, also great, okay? Close your eyes,
Okay.
put your hand on your heart,
Yes.
go inside of it. Okay, you use the word concern. What's the real word?
Fear.
Okay. Now, I'm going to switch the way I'm working. I'm not going to just go back and forth. I'm going to talk in real time with what you're bringing up, and I'll come back to what we spoke about, okay? Now, open your eyes again. Okay, now. I want you to understand that it's really, really important. And this is for everybody, because we're all dealing with the same dynamics. We have our own individual responses, but we're all dealing with our own dynamics. And with general dynamics. If you think the label that you put on an experience affects and sometimes determines how you're going to relate with it and what you're going to do. If you think what you're experiencing is concern, then you're going to deal with concern. Because you haven't let yourself know that you're really afraid. If you allow yourself to know that you're really afraid, then you'll be able to do what you need to do to deal with the fear. I talk a lot. Just a private joke. Some people say I talk too much. But I've been talking for many, many years. I give lots of talks. I used to be a lecturer for Princess Cruises and universities and all kinds of things. So in any event, I talk a lot about awareness, relationship, and responsibility. Okay? And I'm going to bring that in right now. If you're aware that it's fear rather than concern, okay? So you have the awareness. Once you have the awareness, then you can relate in the right, real way to what's going on. And responsibility is the ability to respond. So when you have the awareness, and then you have an appropriate relationship, then you have ability to respond in a way that's going to be helpful. So it's very important for each of us, including myself, because I could be, so involved in, let's say, my work with patients or whatever, that I'm not thinking about what's going on with me. It's true for everybody, okay? That it's important to know what's really going on inside, and at the same time, to know how to do it b'midah u'b'izun, in the right amount and at the right time and in a balanced way. Because if you focus in, for instance, on fear, it can trigger things that will then be debilitating, and you won't be able to respond or relate in the right way, or even be aware in the right way. Because we'll talk a little bit later about PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, that there are certain psycho-emotional, biological responses and processes that happen in the body that have all kinds of effects. It's a good thing to know how these things work so that you can have the mastery over what's happening instead of feeling victimized about your feelings. Okay? So once you're aware that you're afraid, don't get stuck in it. Ask yourself, and we're going to talk about it today, what's the right way of relating to fear so you can do something positive and helpful?
I sew up his uniform really, really well,
Okay.
so that he would look proper when he goes down to,
Okay.
he had a big hole in his uniform, so.
So we're going to come back. We're going to come back more about that now. But thank you for sharing that. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, my name is Vicki, and I've been here for, I about 2.5 years ago, around the time you came, I guess. Oh, okay, 2.5 years ago, and came to be with family. And my thing is that I'm very frightened.
You're what?
I'm very frightened, okay? I live alone with the animal. And I'm very frightened, but I feel guilty about being frightened because really I'm not in bad shape. I'm not in a particularly unsafe place. Why aren't I worrying about my nephews who are in the army? Why aren't I worrying about the little babies and the babies in Gaza who are getting killed? And why, with all this horrible stuff going on, do I really have the right to be afraid?
Okay. I'm going to speak right now to what you said. And I think, is that okay if I'm using that format? Is that okay with everybody? You're presenting something, and we can go around, we can spend the whole time just going around with very specific things, and I'll give you a response that hopefully will be helpful to you. I'm going to fly to I spend so much time preparing this, as I always do, and then obviously we do it perfectly. Specific considerations for Olim. Can somebody read that, please? I was not built, prepared, or trained to relate or cope with war. Okay? You're going to say it again. I was not built, prepared, or trained to relate or cope with war. Okay? Now, you have your own fear, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take this off now because you don't want to focus on that. We're going to focus on, here, I'll give you something to focus on. Now would be a good time to take a deep breath and relax. How about if we all do that? And we're going to do some guided imagery and relaxation today. Okay, but now's a good time to do that. Okay? Because as we're talking about the stuff that's difficult, the stress level goes up, and we want the sweet being inside this woman to feel good and not to have stress hormones going through your body while you're pregnant. So it's especially important for you because stress hormones, by the way, go through the placenta. And it's very important for you to be able to do meditations and relaxation while you're pregnant. Okay, we can talk more about that. And you're smiling. Why are you smiling?
That's what I've tried to do.
Huh?
I've tried to do that.
Good. Don't try to do it. Just do it. Right? Fritz Perls, the father of Gestalt therapy, said trying is lying. Why? He only said I tried to get to the bus if you missed it, right? You like that? Okay, so take a deep breath. Okay, now, this is a somewhat Jewish thing, the problem that you're raising, because we're always taught, you should be better, you should be better, you should be better. Nechaya l'chaya is a blessing, but it also is a curse because you never feel good enough. okay? And the fact that you would like to be able to be more for this one and be able to handle this better, et cetera, okay? You're entitled to have your own feelings, and you're even entitled to have your feelings make it less possible for you to do what you wish you could do. Okay? And everything has its consequences. I'm giving this talk in English. I work as a therapist in Hebrew as well. But I'm sure that I can't be as fluid in Hebrew as I am in English. But that's part of the price you pay for making Aliyah. You know, it reminds me, in 2001, I think it was, I gave my first talk in Israel to teachers, I think in this building. And I was wearing contact lenses and I put drops in it and didn't know, what is that? I said, Yesli Adashim Beinai. Adashot to contact lenses, Adashim are beans. So everybody laughed at me. Okay? But that's the price that you pay. And one of the prices that you pay is that there are missiles and there are sirens and there are wars. And what's important for you is to remind yourself what Dr. Jeff Jacobson, my neighbor, great radiologist, said to me when I was down on myself for not being more in Israel. He says, Simcha, you accomplished one of your greatest dreams, you made Aliyah. And it's a big thing. And it's very, very important for you to focus on that. And to ask the people around you to be mefargen you, to give you support, to give you compliments and say, how come you're not doing this good enough? How come you're not doing that good enough? Say, wow, you know, yeah. Okay, so take a deep breath. Close your eyes a second. Okay. Put your hand on your heart. Put your hand on your heart. You'll find it.
I don't know. They sound.
The reason why you're hurting so much is because you have so much heart that you don't know certain things how to do it. You have a lot of heart. So what I'd like you to do is give yourself permission to let yourself off the hook for not being perfect and not being a person who can fulfill everybody else's needs. And if you're a believer in God, be with God right now and let God give you nourishment. And allow yourself to receive from the ultimate source comfort. Take a deep breath. And of course, I'm speaking to everybody in the room. I'm not just speaking. Everybody should do this. Because everybody has these feelings of not being enough. Because when you make Aliyah, it's impossible to be at the level on all kinds of things that you were doing before you made Aliyah. That's the mitziyut. That's like, you know, if a person has a certain learning disorder, they're given certain advantages in school because they don't know the language or because they're ADD or whatever it is, hakalot. You have to give yourself those hakalot. You have to make it somewhat of a normal playing field. You can't compete with who you wish you could be because nobody's who they wish they could be. Basically, I think that's true. Because we all would like to be better. So let go of some of that pressure that you put on yourself and guilt and this stuff. Because getting back to Gestalt therapy says that oftentimes guilt is actually resentment towards someone else that you internalize towards yourself. And instead of feeling resentful towards the people who are laying tricks on you or causing you to feel that you're not good enough, you feel guilty because you don't know how to say, hey, I don't want to take that in. That's your issue. If I'm not good enough for you, maybe that's because you need too much. Or you shouldn't be asking everything from me. Does it make sense to what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not just speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself and everybody. Okay? Now, we did a little sur meirah. You know, there's a pasuk that says sur meirah b'asei tov. Get away from evil and do good. So we talked about getting rid of some of the schmutz. What can you do inside? Close your eyes a moment. Close your eyes a moment.
Oh, okay.
What could you do inside that would put a smile on your face? So go, that was like 10 seconds. Can you think about something you're happy about?
Your cartoons.
Well, that's true.
That put a smile on her face.
Okay.
It's true.
She loves her cartoons.
And let the, okay,
It's true.
okay. And
I
I
love
want
my
you,
cartoons.
okay,
They do.
good. And I want you now, you were shaking your foot, shake it on purpose now. You were going like this with your foot, do it on purpose now. And let the anxiety out.
Yeah, and shaking a lot.
That's right. Let the anxiety out. And go right out your leg into the floor and make room in your cup for some positive feelings of the cartoons. There you go, you smiled. Okay, good. Keep doing it. Let the anxiety and the bad feelings out your foot, and let the cartoons in your head and travel through your body. Everybody needs to find their own medicine. And everybody has medicine. Everybody has all kinds of resources inside that you can discover and use. Okay? Can you think of a particularly good cartoon?
Excuse me?
Can you think of a particularly good cartoon?
About 10, actually.
Oh, good. So now you're laughing. Oh, that's good. Excellent. Yes.
So from the one hand, I want to say...
What's your name?
My name's Hayley.
Where are you from?
South Africa, Australia. Met only a year and a half ago.
Welcome.
I'm from Australia. And on the one hand, I want to feel what's going on, and I want to be in touch and not live in the clouds. On the other hand, when I do, it gets too much. And when you see the images and you just you want to feel the pain, but if I feel the pain, it's too much for me.
Okay.
Being
I'm going to say
present.
something to you
Yeah.
that I hope it's okay for me to say to you.
Yeah.
And it's probably good that I'm saying this to you before you go into labor. You said the words, I want to feel the pain.
No, I do feel the pain.
Yeah, but that's not what you said.
Yeah.
I listened to what you said very carefully.
Right.
Okay? And I
want to allow myself to feel the pain, but then when I allow myself to feel the pain, then I become unmobilized. I need to deal with my kids, and I need to stay help the baby, whatever. I feel that I can't allow myself to feel the pain, because when I do, it's immobilizing.
Okay. So, you know, I know a lot about pain. I wrote for the medical magazine Ka'ev in Israel on hypnosis for dealing with pain. And you have to be careful because on the straight subconscious level, you said, I want to feel the pain.
Right.
I'm not going to get into it here and now, okay? But I recommend that you will be very careful how you relate to that, because it reminds me, I worked with a patient in Los Angeles about 25 years ago now, who had back pain, didn't know why. We did hypnosis, and she said, I feel alive when I'm in pain. Without the pain, I feel like I'm not alive. That's what she said. Very, very important to relate to the pain in the right way and not to utilize it. What I hear is that my intuition tells me when I'm listening to you is that you're utilizing it in a certain way to connect. You want to be connected, and then you talked about the pain.
Right.
And there are a lot better ways of being connected to life than pain.
Right.
And you may have heard it somewhere, your family growing up, somebody put some kind of juke in your computer in your head, that there's a thing about connection and pain. Oftentimes that happens in families, that they don't know how to connect except with painful dynamics or whatever it is, okay? So what would be helpful for you and for all of us is that if anybody has any kind of what's called secondary gain, benefit that you get out of what you're saying you don't want regarding pain, figure out what it is and get rid of it.
I hear what you're saying, but it's more that I'm living in Israel, and I want to be part of what's going on. I don't want to be living in the clouds and not...
Great. So I'm
Yeah,
going to talk about
yeah.
that, and I'm going to relate it to what you said. Okay? Here's the thing. We all have kalim. This is a Kabbalistic concept, but it's also a psychological concept. Okay? We all have vessels. Okay? There's something called shvirat kalim. That if your vessel isn't strong enough to handle the light, or it could be not light, it could be the darkness, or whatever it is, then your kli, your vessel, shatters. So you have to know where your kli is and how strong it is. Sometimes, until you strengthen your kli, then you have to be careful, more careful what you're putting in. It's like hot water. What kind of glass are you putting it in? You put the teaspoon in first, absorb some of the glass, some of the heat. Okay? So there needs to be the right balance about that. And one thing is for sure, when you take a look, I remember during the Second Lebanese War, I called up the Department of the Ministry of Communication to tell them that certain things that were putting in the news, that would have these things going along the top and along the bottom, these graphics. And I said, what it's doing is it's hypnotizing viewers while you're showing them pictures of the war. It's very unhealthy. Okay? So you have to be very, very careful about media, because they show the same bomb 20 times in 1 minute because they don't have enough content. So they show the same horrible thing over and over again, and they're talking about something that is maybe less disturbing, but subconsciously you keep looking at that image, which of course has an effect on you. So you can be connected with your heart. It's much better than some people get to be obsessive compulsive about the news. They're checking every 2 seconds. I would Sheva. Okay, I check too often. I'm guilty of that. Okay, because I want to know what's happening. But I'll tell you, much better, instead of my watching the news, that I'm here helping people. So if you want to be connected, find a way of doing something positive, because it'll make you feel better, it'll make other people feel better. It's a win-win situation. And be very, very careful about media. You were talking about media and wanting to know what's going on and not knowing when the end is going to be. And you know something, the truth of the matter is that you don't get the truth in the media anyway. And I was watching, it's not to say Lashon Hara, but it's just true. We were watching Channel 2 news. And we switched to Channel 10 because the Channel 2 news was so aggressive, and the way they spoke about things was so aggressive. I said, who needs to listen to this? Listen to somebody who's speaking more gently about it. Okay? I'll come back, but I want to continue. Yes? No? Yes?
Well, I've been in a lot of different chaotic situations, war, not different kinds of war situations and stuff like that. And I agree with you about the media. And I guess for me, I'm glad I'm here because I feel like, people overseas, they're asking, well, they're seeing a lot worse. They see the media like what you described, and they think it's a lot worse, and I know that it's bad. But my biggest problem is that I'm studying Nach, and I'm finding a lot of relationships between what happened thousands of years ago and what's now, and I guess I'm not trying to prophesize, but to understand the prophecy, what is being said to us now, and this is becoming very, I guess, emotional.
What about it? Because you used the word problem, but you didn't say what the problem is. You're hinting at about being emotional. So what's actually the problem?
Well, it's the way that in not the way the prophecies are, and what it was trying to foretell, and people didn't understand them.
You know something? Close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart. What's the bottom line? What's freaking you out?
Understanding.
So it means lack of control. Is that right? Because we don't understand. Is that correct? Okay. So you're using, and this is one of the responses to trauma, and it's also one of the symptoms sometimes of PTSD, that you try to find meaning, like Viktor Frankl, right? He's trying to find meaning in the Shoah, right? You're trying to find meaning in what's going on here, but it's related. The thing that's uncomfortable for you is the lack of control, right? The lack of understanding. Is that right? Okay, I'm going to just write it down and do this speech. Think all of us about it. And I'm also going to say something about when you say that the media in America makes it look like it's worse than it is. Yes and no. Because if you're the house that got hit, it's as bad as it is. Or if you're the woman who was supposed to get married in October, the boyfriend who died last week, it's bad. Okay? So it's important to know how to relate in a real way with what's actually happening. Okay, now, let me think a moment. Okay. Rav Dessler says in his book, Striving for Truth, that the place of free will is like the edge of a knife. Yet we have free will, to a certain degree. Okay. Can't help but happen to also be a rabbi, and I really spiritual things. In any event, the amount of control that we have over anything is extremely limited. Right? It's an opportunity. Are you having a hard time hearing me?
Yeah, you said something about being a rabbi.
I said I happen to also be a rabbi. And
Oh,
bringing
okay.
in
That's
spiritual
what we
things.
couldn't hear.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Never hear anything.
Here's the thing. Do you want to sit closer here without making it easier for you to hear?
I'll be fine.
Because I want you to hear.
Okay.
Would it be better for you to sit over here?
Maybe.
Magiala. You know what that means?
Not exactly, but I know what you mean.
You're entitled.
I'm entitled.
Yeah, it's a chidush. You're entitled.
No,
It's a-
entitlement's a bad thing.
Why?
No, I've been taught that. It's
Entitled.
like you Americans are so entitled, or you, somebody's entitled.
We're entitled as a human being to be able to hear what's going on.
Right.
Speak to me about that later if you want to.
Okay.
But don't buy into those negative messages. What are you doing?
It's for the yacht.
It's for what?
For the yacht.
For the yacht?
Yeah.
You see, you got this wrong. You see, the Modiin wants to know that you're helping people. You're asking everybody to smile. They're going to say, what do you need a stress management lecture for? Just a joke. Humor is very important. And I have to say it so I don't forget. The one thing I didn't put in my 45-page PowerPoint presentation, because I did it during the 3 weeks, is how important music is. And I left it out. I'm a musician, and I usually would come with my guitar to do some music with you. But it's very important. Music is a real stress reducer. Okay, getting back to control and entitlement. Okay? Control is a very, you don't have it, okay? But it's an opportunity for emunah. It's an opportunity for faith. Okay, so where you do have control, you do hishtadlut, you do what you can do. Where you don't have control, it's an opening for emunah. Okay? And I recommend to you that you don't focus on what you don't have control about. Focus on what you do have control about. And the most important thing that we have control about is our own inner experience. Okay? You're welcome to join the circle if you want to.
No, it's good here.
Good, enjoy yourself. Okay? Your own inner experience. That's what you have control of. It's like you create, like Shlomo Carlebach Zatzal used to say, you have to taste Shabbat every day. Okay? So we're going to take a pause right now. Put your feet on the floor. That's right. Take a deep breath. You're entitled to breathe. Take a deep breath. If you want to close your eyes, you may. You don't have to. I'm going to close the door. Okay? Close your eyes. And just find yourself Erev Shabbat, Friday afternoon, before Adam and Chava were created. Find yourself in Gan Eden. Before there was ever a war, before there was ever even death or sickness. The beginning. And you can all be Adam HaRishon, Al-Pi Kabbalah was male and female. And get ready to receive the first breath of life from God. And when you're ready, breathe that in. As a gift, a present that you didn't need to work for, you didn't need to earn, you didn't need to be good enough for, you didn't need to be giving enough for. Just God wants to give you life as a present in the Garden of Eden, where everything is wonderful. And we all know that there are multiple parallel universes, and you can choose to be in the one that suits your needs right now. And you can create that personal miklat. But not because there's anything bad outside, because there isn't. Everything is okay right now. And if you need to be concerned about that, which you don't, you can create your personal miklat, and even if there were to be something outside, it couldn't possibly reach you, because it's so far away, and you're so well protected. Creating a biosphere, where you have exactly the right temperature, the right lighting, perhaps the sounds of birds that you'd like to hear, or music that you'd like to hear, or your favorite colors, perhaps the fragrance of a rose or anything else that you would like to enjoy. And to allow each cell in your body that has a semi-permeable membrane which allows certain things to come in and certain things to go out, to let out the stress. Everybody knows that you can't put something in a cup that's full. So let out the stress and the fear from your cup, from every cell in your body, from all the neurons in your brain, from the lining of your stomach, from any place in your body that might have absorbed tension or fear. Let that place open, and let the stress and the fear and the worry just drift out to make room for comfortable experiences to come in and be thoroughly absorbed into each cell of your heart, your digestive system, traveling through your bloodstream as you breathe in the breath of life that God has given you now, out of love and kindness, happiness of life. You can breathe into your lungs, be received into your heart, and spread throughout your body. Like the magic that it is. And be in Hayom Shekulo Shabbat, the perfect experience of Shabbat, in which you have everything that you need. There is nothing that you need to do but relax, receive goodness, enjoy that goodness, and continually learn how to do this deeper and deeper with each breath that you're breathing in comfort, and with each breath that you're letting go of tension. And as I say, if you pay attention, you don't need to have tension. Pay attention to what you need. Give yourself permission to give yourself and to receive what you need. Let the negative input from the outside be blocked. as when you were in that baby stroller, taking a nice nap and relaxing. Everything's fine. And let the muscles in your arms and your shoulders relax even more. Become aware as you scan your body from the inside, what organs, what limbs, what muscles can relax even more now. Enjoying learning how to have more control. Knowing inside your heart what you need and providing that with God's help and receiving it. And of course, in times like these, faith is important. Machshavotay lo machshavotechem, says God. My thoughts are yours. And although we cannot understand the things that sometimes seem to be not okay, at the same time, every day we see miracles. We are living in biblical times of miracles. And each of us who made Aliyah found that strength to do something bold, brave, and you're entitled to give yourself extra comfort, because we all need extra comfort. So I'm going to count from 10 to 1. And if you want to, you can use each number to become more relaxed. Just to let yourself know, perhaps a word that you'd like to utilize as an anchor, as a representation of comfort and calm, confidence, perhaps inner peace. Maybe you'd like to imagine that there's somebody who's alive, or used to be alive, that can be with you to comfort you now. Somebody who can give you a hug, a smile, a kind word, encouragement. There are all kinds of wonderful ways of becoming more comfortable. You have to let go. So take that deep breath, that cleansing breath, as we're all giving birth every moment. And again. That's right. And the more you breathe, and the more oxygen your muscles have on a physiological level, you become more relaxed. When you breathe from your diaphragm, it changes the chemistry in your body and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which increases relaxation and can also enhance the immune system. So do some deep diaphragmatic breathing from your stomach. Get back into that biosphere, that private Modiin, where you have your favorite things that help you to feel good. 9, 8, 7, letting your forehead relax. 6, letting your shoulders relax. 5, letting your legs relax. 4, your subconscious mind knows at least 3 ways that you can continue to go deeper and deeper into a state of wonderful relaxation. What I'd like you to consider doing, and tell me if you'd like to, is to, in a moment, or whenever it is that you'd like to open your eyes, to stay in this relaxed state with your eyes open. So when you're ready, you can do that. Perhaps the room will look a little different. How are you? Yeah. Yeah. Did you go into your private Baba? Yeah? I see a big smile. Huh? Yeah? Is it good? Whatever you want to, you can go there. How are you? Yeah. Anybody want to share a little bit about their experience? And you can say negative things as well. Be honest about it. How was your experience?
My experience was I was about to fall asleep.
Have you been getting enough sleep?
Probably not as good, not as healthy sleep as I could have. Had a lot of stuff going on.
Okay, so that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
How are you? You good? You want to say a little bit about your experience? You don't have to. Huh?
I have nothing to say.
Was it a good experience for you?
Yeah, it was good. I'm just feeling physically very uncomfortable, so it's hard for me to get into the relaxation.
Maybe you
I'm
didn't
not
sit
sure.
differently or a different
No,
chair.
the chairs aren't
I understand, that's what I'm thinking about. How are you? Yeah? It's good? So what is your name?
Lou,
Lou. What do you need?
I don't need anything. I'm just concerned about the soldiers. That's my main concern. And I always walk with my own private mamad all the time, and which is wonderful. And I'm
No,
always
no, Hashem.
Which is what?
Hashem.
Oh, Hashem.
Hashem.
Okay. Oh,
Hashem.
I couldn't hear.
The master of the world
Yes.
is the translation.
And we made Aliyah almost 3 years ago, close. And he came home. So now we're with family.
Why did you come here today?
Well, interesting, my wife, mentioned.
And this is your wife.
You see my wife, 53 years.
You have good taste.
Wait, Mark?
You have good taste.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's the inner beauty is so much better. The outer beauty is very nice, but the inner beauty is
Yes.
much, much better. Especially as we get older. we discover
There's less effort.
It's, no. So anyway, I'm very happy to be here, and I think breathing, I'm into health and nutrition and exercise. And breathing is always good to breathe.
Especially if you want to be alive.
Absolutely. So that was good. It's very relaxing to breathe.
What's your name?
Mira,
Mira?
yeah.
Why did you come today?
To tell you the truth, not so much for myself, but to get ideas about about the situation and about how to help others. I was in a situation where I was in a mamad with someone I didn't know who was totally freaked out. And
Here in Modiin?
yeah. And I live in a bubble. I live in a bubble. I live like that all the time, where I feel totally safe. So it doesn't affect me personally so much, but I felt like totally helpless in helping her.
And what was that feeling like?
Frustration. Actually, frustration would be the word that I would use if I had to put in a complaint here. I feel
A
frustrated.
complaint, you said?
Yeah. I feel frustrated because, I see stress around me and I feel helpless to help that. And I used to feel like I was very much in control and on top of everything. But since I've been here, because I don't have the language, I am helpless in many ways. To listen to what's going on, I have to listen to foreign media, not to local media. And I know the foreign media is different.
But you have local American media, English media, sorry, English media.
I know there's, the 5 o'clock news
You did,
but I don't subscribe to all those channels on TV.
But if you want to, by the way, on your cell phone, at any moment, you can go out and get the news in English.
Yeah, that's true, I do, but it's not local media.
Ah.
It's not local media, it's Sky, it's Fox.
No, I'm talking about Eric Sheva, for instance.
Irish Cheddar.
You can get it immediately.
24 also.
The Jerusalem Post.
I-24.
What's that?
Debka.
I-24.
Is that a
English.
TV program?
No, it's not.
No, it's online, it's on computer.
Russian billionaire created this whole big media thing, I-24 is part of it.
Yeah.
And you have the Jerusalem Post in English, you have Haaretz in
Yeah.
English, you have all
Yeah, I
kinds
get
of
that,
things.
I get that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you do with frustration is find out what you do that isn't frustrating and do that. Don't try to do too much things that are difficult for you to do. That's why it's nice for me sometimes.
Yeah, but eventually I have to conquer it. I mean, for instance, the language issue is really huge. It's a major, major issue. I mean, I suspected that would be the case before I got here because just my job alone is affected by that.
So it's very important. Let me just say
Yeah.
a word about that, okay? Because, I'm here since 2000, and I still am asking my wife, who is French, but she went to school here when she was in high school and has Hebrew better than I do. I'm watching the news. What does this mean? From hearing a lecture, sometimes I don't understand what does that mean, and it's frustrating for me because words are my tools as a therapist and as a speaker. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's important to also have the opportunity to speak in English and not always be speaking in Hebrew. Now, there are people in Israel, lots of people in Israel, who don't speak a word of Hebrew, basically, and they function fine because they surround themselves with an English-speaking milieu. And you can do that. Now, it's important not to push yourself too hard. If you have a goal of doing Hebrew, and that's what I work now in Hebrew, but when I first came here, I couldn't do hypnosis in Hebrew, now I do. But if I would be down on myself and pushing myself too hard on it, then I would have negative consequences instead of positive ones. So you need to find the balance. You need to not be hard on yourself for the things that are difficult, because there's not something wrong with you. If you took any of the people here and put them in New York or LA or London or wherever, they wouldn't be doing so well either in English. Right?
No, sure. Yeah, but I could help. I could do something You know, I'm on top of it. They have a problem. I'm on top of it.
Yeah, but you could be helping English people, you can help New Orleans in English.
Yeah,
You have to find your niche
yeah,
that isn't frustrating and is rewarding for you.
yeah.
Because I know that I can't compete in language with a Sabra. How can I?
Yeah.
If I would even try to, I would only feel bummed out about it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
Okay, so it's very, very important that you find experiences that you can have, and positive things that you can do in a setting that is rewarding and comfortable for you. And there are plenty of them. Because there are lots of people who don't speak Hebrew in Israel, who speak English, who want help, who want connection, even who just got together and made a support group. So do that. Put out an email on the email list. You live in Modiin?
Yeah.
Put an email out. You know something? I would like
I'm a
to.
teacher, not a counsellor.
You're a what?
A teacher, not a counsellor.
So, you're a person. It doesn't have to be a counselor. You could say, I'd like to get together with a bunch of English-speaking people just to give each other support.
Sure, absolutely.
And you're smiling from ear to ear just with the thought of it.
Yeah.
You haven't done it yet. You will, hopefully. Okay? And when I said you will, hopefully you started laughing. You're smiling. It's the first time I saw you smiling today.
Oh, that's a good thing.
So it's good, right?
Absolutely.
So do it. And if you want help doing it, call me. I'll help you do it. Put an email out. It's all it takes. Okay? Good. Yes? I suppose you over there.
That's right.
You get around. Okay. What time is it?
11:35.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you what you would prefer, okay? Liat? You missed some good relaxation.
I know, I'm getting to you too. We're gonna do a
You
round
did
robin.
a whole guide intrigue and
Well, you didn't call me. It's okay, I had to get done the show.
want to come now and hear some
Maybe
content?
soon, but I got
You're
one.
welcome to.
Who's tired. No. You're here for a purpose.
Okay. Have a sip of water. Excuse me. Okay, two questions. One is, would you all like to take a 5-minute break? You're,
Keep going, keep going.
Yes, they're all relaxed.
keep on going? Okay.
Yes.
See, that's why I like to do this so that you don't feel like you need a break. Okay. Now, here, I'm going to give you a menu, okay? Because I used to be a waiter when I was in high school. I'm giving you a menu. We can go around again, and you can ask her personal things, or I could first do more content of what I prepared to tell you.
Just the content.
Okay? I've been giving you content, of course, in the middle, but I'm talking about the
Your
more frontal.
presentation.
Okay, let me take a look about what we have over here. I need my kids to feel safe and to have peace and have no fear. Okay, let me talk about that. Because I want to address these issues. I promised that I would, and then we'll go to the content. And you can get it anywhere. No, that's not true, actually. You'll get it. I'll share it with you when we're done. Okay? I need a break. Give me a minute, please. And I'm modeling for you right now what I said before. You have to have that awareness of where you're at and what you need, because if I didn't just do what I did now, I'd be burned out by the end of the day. You have to take a moment, take a step back. Where are you at? What do you need? And if a room full of people are waiting for you, but I need to relax for 30 seconds, I'm entitled. Okay.
You want
Fear.
to drink? Or take coffee?
Okay, fear. If a person comes to me, Dr. Sheldon, I have a phobia of snakes. It would be inappropriate for me to hypnotize that person. And I don't hypnotize people, I help people go into hypnosis and utilize it. Okay? It would be inappropriate for me to have that person go into hypnosis and say, okay, I'm not afraid of snakes anymore. That's stupid. It's like people afraid of bridges. Okay, I'm not afraid of bridges. So they go over a bridge, it's falling apart, and they fall. Okay. So the idea of not having any fear is not smart. Because fear is something that protects us. And the difference between fear and phobia is it rational or irrational? Is it helping you, or is it getting you stuck and frozen? Because fight-flight response to a stressor, sometimes the thing is to run, and sometimes the thing is to freeze, as in the animal will leave you alone. But if a bear, he's supposed to make a lot of noise. You have to know what's the right response. And sometimes to be afraid, some people say, I'm not afraid, so they don't go into the shelter. And then they can die. That's not smart. Right? So if I came in and said, don't be afraid of anything, that's stupid. Be afraid in the right way. Meaning. And you know something? It doesn't even have to be fear. Because fear is really for people who don't think well. So they have to have that visceral fear response to motivate them. But if you're thinking in your right mind, you don't need to be afraid to go to a shelter. You say, okay, I don't need to be afraid. The right thing is to go to a shelter. I'm going to be fine. It's really important, what I just said. If you get to use your mind and your thinking in the right way, you don't need fear. You just took a breath when I said that. Take another one. That's right. So let's think about getting into that right mindset of thinking logically and rationally and say, okay, I'm going to do that now. Simple said something that's reasonable. Anybody thinking I'm wrong? You can say I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong. You think I'm wrong with it? Okay. So let's decide, each one of us, we're not going to think rationally. We're going to do what's right and healthy and helpful. And I don't have to be afraid. And that fear that you had, that's still residual going on, get rid of it. Do it. Shake it out. Shake out your fear. Everybody stand up. Stand up. Come on. Shake out the fear. Do it. Come on. Come on. Oh no, that's not enough. That's not enough. Come on. Hey. Huh? Embarrassed? Okay, everybody don't look at anybody, close your eyes. Just shake. Shake, rather and roll. And breathe. Okay, I see 1 smile, 2 smiles, 3 smiles, 4 smiles, 5 smiles, almost a smile up. Okay, now you're smiling. You're not smiling. Shake it.
The relaxation did ground us up, because when I stood up, if it's really good, you feel very grounded, and that's how I feel. My
Great.
You wake up.
Feel very grounded. So
Great.
that was a good.
Thank you for the positive feedback. Okay, you can stand or sit as you like. You don't like to stand. Okay, good. All right.
Really good.
Okay, so we lowered the fear. Did you lower your fear? You're a smart girl, right? And you're smart, right? She's quiet, but she's smart. Sometimes it's the smartest thing to do is to be quiet. That's what my wife says to me all the time. It's be quiet. Right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, so we changed the no fear to appropriate fear if you need it, and if you think in the right way, you don't need to be afraid. That's positive, right? Okay. Now, personal one we did. Concern regarding your granddaughter. That's you, right? Okay. Concern is a loving thing. Over-concern is a harmful thing. So help your granddaughter to make sure that she's doing things that protect her safety. And pray. Because that's better than being worried. Do what you can in a rational way to help her be protected. Make sure she does a homage, she has to get there. But then don't be concerned. Because, again, if you're using your mind in the right way and you're taking the right precautions, that's why we have no minds. All right? Okay. Next, we spoke about media. Better not to look at the news, okay? Really. You want to be connected to something that you're doing that's positive. Because to look at the negativity all the time gets in the way of being positive.
When you were discussing about how you change channels, that's what I wanted to talk about. My Zoom, he's Israeli, and he's German, whatever. And
You say Yankee?
Yankee German, so I started getting my little square box.
Okay.
So he also used to always. Yeah, he needs to want to go out. That would be your word.
We'll talk about it.
That'll be your word. So he usually listens to 2, but lately, because he moved to 10, and we never used to watch 10, and it's, I think subconsciously he also felt the stress of the excitement and the dramatization of what's going on.
The people working there are aggressive with each other.
Yes, that he switched over, now we're
I was watching the Knesset channel.
So I noticed how he chose, which he never does, is watch his 10 now.
Good.
So he's helping himself
Good.
in some way.
There's something I want to thank you. There's something I want to talk about, which is really important. Don't take personally other people's reactions or availability. Okay, this means as follows. If somebody's stressed out, the way that they might be dealing with it, or might be, there's reacting and responding. Responding is more like I with intention, and reacting is more like automatic, okay? Let's say a person is just like really upset, or depressed, or anxious, or whatever it is, and that person deals with it by shutting down, by being quiet, by being unavailable. And you feel what's going on. You connected to that, right? You connected to what I just said?
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay. So some people close down, okay? And it's important not to take it personally. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. Okay? And there's a certain amount of responsibility on both sides. In other words, a person has to know how to not be too closed down if they need to be there with other people, for other people. But you also have to be understanding that everybody has their own defense mechanisms. Okay. So, if you're that person that's closed down and unavailable, it's important to tell the people around you, don't take it personally, I love you, but not love. And that's the way I deal with it. I go inside myself. Now, your response might be, well, let me help you get out. And that person might say, no, that's not really me, I don't want to be me. So if you actually, and here's where you have to really be clean and clear about it. Are you helping the other person get out for the other person, or you want to help the other person get out because you need contact with the other person? If you need contact with the other person's defense mechanism is to go inside, then what do you get? Well, there are a couple of things. One is you're not going to change somebody's personality in a moment. So it might be a good thing to find somebody else appropriate, very important, somebody else appropriate to connect with in an appropriate way. When I say appropriate, that means depending on how much of a need you have, you can't be a leech on the other person. And also, you have to be careful in terms of levels of intimacy, because sometimes it happens in a couple or in a family when somebody can't really be there for you, and you go looking elsewhere, and if you're going to the wrong place, it can create problems. So you have to be aware of that and know, even if it's a friend or if it's a boss or whoever it is. Okay? And it's a smart, loving thing to do, to say to the other person, I'd like to know if there's anything that I can do for you. What would be comforting for you? It might be a cup of tea. It might be a hug. It might be, do me a favor, don't ask anything of me for a half an hour. I just want to be in my own space. And just to notice what the other person needs. See if you can give it to them. On the other hand, it's important to let the other person know what you need. because that helps relationships stay together. That was heavy, huh? Wow. That brought up a lot of stuff. I feel the energy in the room changed on that topic. So let's breathe again. Take some deep breaths. There, good. You're smiling again. Good. You're smiling again. Okay. Because you know something? When you're holding, your need quotient goes up. And the less abilities you feel that you have, when you make it aliyah, whether it be language or work or self-esteem, you know, making aliyah has a very big effect on people's self-esteem. Because a lot of the positive feedback that people got from all kinds of places isn't coming. Okay, so it's really, really important to be aware of that. And it's very, very important to find means of being able to receive positive feedback. Because we all need it. Okay. Frightened and guilt. Why am I not more? That's you. You were over here at the time, now you're over here.
Yeah, still me.
I got it. Now, you're entitled to be afraid.
Okay.
And stand on your legs. That's what I said. Okay.
Certainly.
We're going to go to some content here. We're going to go to some of the slides up here. Okay, by the way, I have all kinds of information on my website, which is drsimcha.com. DR without a dot, just drsimcha.com. And of course, this says stress management, especially during the war, for wonderful people who have made aliyah, like us. Okay? And you have to remember that. It's a wonderful thing. If you made aliyah, it's an amazing thing. It's amazing. Okay? That's why so many people say, even Israelis, I couldn't stand it. Aliyah. Some people said, what, you left Los Angeles to come and live here? I said, yes, you should know how wonderful it is to be. Okay. So why am I here? This is what I was going to do the first 2 minutes of my talk today. I'm here because I want to do something useful and helpful during this time. How can I help you? Hopefully you'll be finding that out. Education, I don't think you care about really. I have a BA, MA, PhD in psychology, also education. I'm a fellow at the Lichtenstein Center. So you can find that out online if you care. Okay. With that, relaxation, calm, peacefulness, and focused relaxation. Focused relaxation is a good thing. To know how to focus on something that elicits a relaxation response. Okay, we did that. Okay. Now, this is very important, an important principle. Before you set out to do a task or to deal with difficult feelings, first things first, create a positive, internal, mind, body, emotional experience. And I would really add spiritual, but sometimes people in the audience don't like that, so I didn't. But now that I see who the audience is, I add spiritual. A positive, internal, mind, body, emotional, spiritual experience. And from that place, you'll be more effective and more efficient in doing what the task is. Okay?
Can you give us an example
Of what?
of creating
Yes, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Huh?
I shouldn't have said anything, I don't like.
Okay, forget about it. You want another chance?
All right.
Okay. It's like a game show. Let everybody do it, okay? Okay. And humor is good. Even bad humor like mine. It's better than nothing. Okay. I used to do so I do sit down comedy. Okay. Everybody do this, okay? Close your eyes. And notice how your body is physically. Okay? Not how it looks in terms of aesthetic beauty, just how you feel inside. Okay? And do something to let your body feel more calm and relaxed. kindly uncrossing your arms and putting your feet on the floor.
Too short. I have to change chairs.
Uh,
That's why I'm doing.
You can discover how you feel with your arms folded or your arms down on your lap, and notice that you're using all kinds of muscles to keep your arms folded. But you're actually using less energy and be more relaxed. Like that, I'm comfortable with
I know that's funny.
Okay, now, so that's body, mind. Okay, close your eyes again. Each person come up with a thought that is positive and comforting. A thought, a simple sentence about reality. Like what? I'm not in your head.
I know what's in your head.
Sit down, please. I'll do this. It's only fair, right? I notice tension here and in my jaw. So I'm letting my jaw relax, letting my head relax, letting my muscles relax, letting my arms and legs get heavy. And I'm saying, I have the ability to cause myself to relax. That's a positive thought that I'm using right now. And I'm feeling the love in my family. It's helping me to feel comfortable emotionally. Even though there might be negative aspects to something, like everybody has negative aspects in their family, you can always find something that's positive. And God is with me. And as I experience that God is with me, it causes me an emotional response inside. Some sadness and letting go of that sadness, which is causing my body to be more physically relaxed, which in turn is causing my emotions to feel more relaxed, more confident, safer, which is causing my mind to say, simply do this more often. Which caused me to take a deep breath, which caused my stomach to become more relaxed. Which caused me to go deeper in my heart, to ask myself, what do I need? I need to feel more love right now. Get that I probably need to ask for that. So I'm even going to ask, although it might be unusual, in fact it is unusual, that all of us in this room love each other. And me. Ourselves, which helps me to feel less alone, which causes me to feel stronger, which makes me feel happier. That was my internal experience. I've never done that in front of you. I think that, Israel is real, If you want to really be real, then you have to go sometimes to that place. And It's a spiritual moving place. Because we're really here, I see when I look around the room, we're here for spiritual reasons. And it's an opportunity, when you do this work, it's really an opportunity to connect with God. When I say this work, I don't know what I'm doing, what all of us are doing. Because it says, Shmar v'nafshecha v'chol. It's a mitzvah, the right in the Torah, to take care of yourself. It's a way of connecting with God. So instead of feeling guilty and selfish, you can, instead of feeling guilty and selfish, you can say, wow, I'm connecting with God, I'm connecting with myself, I'm connecting with other people. When you look around the room and see that Tzelem Elokut, see the God, the image in everybody, and connect on that level, which is not an easy thing to do, most people don't. Most people are afraid to. But it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. It's a whole other session to talk about how to deal with the spiritual issues, about what happened, and the 3 boys and everybody else. And I'd be willing to talk about that, but not now and here. And it's important to deal with it. We're going to continue the content. Thank you.
You know, also, we're all family. All of us are family, and for the young girls, we're all with you. We're all together with you, and we help each other, and we see that. Here in Israel, everybody brings food and clothing, and they have so much, they don't know what to do with it, because we care about each other. So you are not alone. You're not alone. We're all together with you. That's the way the whole country is.
20,000 people in Haifa, 30,000 people in Yerushalayim for a Chayal Boded. And what was said is in Israel, there is no such thing as a Chayal Boded. Okay. Relationships. It's very important to know what's happening between you and yourself, between you and others, professional relationships, and how to relate appropriately to the situation. That means orientation. How do you look at the whole thing in the bigger picture? I'm not going to go into the details because I have a lot to cover. And if you have any specific questions, you can ask me afterwards. Okay. I'm going to read this to you because it's too small on the board because of where the requirement is. Just to have it in your consciousness, some of the challenges that we're dealing with, okay? We don't feel perhaps that we have the strength to understand how they can cope with war because it's a new thing for us. We don't have the experience or expertise in this area to call upon. That's what we're doing today. We're getting more experience and expertise in how to deal with it. Before, nobody, how do you deal with a war? Nobody taught us how do you deal with war, right? I mean, the last war that I was part of in America was the Vietnam War. I dealt with it by protesting in Washington, D.C. I do not have reference points to know how I'm doing. See, I don't feel enough. I feel guilty when I'm fighting, etc. We don't have reference points. We don't have the experience to even know are we doing okay or not okay. And we tend to downgrade ourselves, which is not good. So it's important to find somebody, a friend or family member, who will say, wow, you're doing great. And if the person isn't doing great and they need some help, you're doing just fine, and I'm going to help you to lift up your spirits. Okay? I don't even know what I need to learn. This is so new, right? That's what we're doing today. I never needed to be a parent, spouse, friend, etc. in the middle of a war, right? What's the right way of being a parent? What do I say to my kids? What do I say to my older parents? What do I say? Okay. What do I share with my children? Do I tell them what I'm really feeling or not? I heard a big sigh over here. It's an important issue. How do I help my children? How do I relate with my spouse and friends? Is it okay for me to ask for give or expect from myself and from others? And how do I deal with my fear and other emotions? Is it okay to ask? Because a lot of people are taught, don't ask for anything. It's supposed to be self-sufficient. You're not self-sufficient, you're not okay. Don't ask for anything. But we're in need. Everybody's in need of support. And it's an important thing to get. Okay. With that, now, somebody asked, how do you create that positive mindset? Here are some things you can do. Okay, when you're doing guided imagery with yourself, you can utilize positive memories of the past. So you could be like in your favorite park or at the beach or in some wonderful experience. Use, very important, I'll give you that, good technology now. This is good technology. Use all of your senses to experience the positive experience. Okay? Sight, sound. You go into the beach, I hear the birds. I see the white on top of the waves. I smell the sea air. I feel the warmth of the sun on my face. I feel the comfort of my body on the sand. I can almost taste the salt in my mouth. Okay? Or you can create experiences. You know what I want? This guy broke his arm in freshman years ago playing ball. I was waiting for the ambulance to come, he was screaming. So I said, why don't you put your arm on the moon? And it won't hurt. That's what he did. Now, he was never on the moon, but he utilized the creation of an experience to feel better. Okay? You can do this. Okay, I'm going to keep on going. There's a positive side to stress, and that's motivation, but in the right amount. Okay? Identifying and understanding high-risk and low-risk situations. It's very important to understand what kind of situations put you in a higher risk for stress. I'll tell you what, you don't have to read it. It's better that I go over it. Because if you're reading it, you can't hear what I'm saying. So, I will go over it. Okay? What kinds of things? Here's an example, okay? This is good technical information to help you deal with what's going on, okay? Identifying what kind of situations are likely to create more stress, what kind of situations are likely to reduce stress, okay? Now, you have between you and you. So, for instance, tell me something. If we're going to do body, mind, emotion, spirit, okay? Body. What's a higher stress risk? Somebody tell me?
Something with your heart.
No, physically. What could be happening in your body that would be more likely to increase your stress level?
Fear.
To watch the news.
In your body.
To watch the news all the time.
That's cognitive.
Sweating.
Sweating is a response to stress.
Sleep.
Lack of sleep. Hungry, tired, okay? Very important. You have to get sleep. But if you're hungry, you're more likely to be getting stressed, psychologically or emotionally, because if you're hungry, your body is physiologically stressed. That's between you and you, okay? Now we're going to go to mind. What's a high, okay, so hungry is higher risk of stress. What's lower in the body? Rested. Fed well, not sugar highs. Caffeine, more caffeine. Let me take an energy drink. Not a good idea. Okay? Nicotine, all these drugs. Okay? Now, mind. What's a higher stress mind situation? Somebody want to say?
Negative thoughts.
Huh?
Negative thoughts.
Negative thoughts. Thinking too much. Obsessive thoughts. There was just something on the Modiin email list. Somebody gave a recommendation for treating OCD. Okay? If you're stuck in a loop, that's high risk. If you're not thinking at all, that also can be, you might think that if you're dissociating and you're not thinking that it's low risk because you're not dealing with anything, but on the other hand, it maintains the fear because you don't have rational thinking to let you know what's good to do. Okay? Now, Stress between people. If you're arguing, right? Or if you have a lack of communication, that can increase stress. If you feel that you have support, that you have connection, that reduces stress. Okay? Personal behaviors that increase stress or reduce stress. Watching the news increases stress. Listening to some nice music decreases stress. Exercise is as good, according to all the studies, as antidepressant drugs. Just so you know.
Photography.
Okay? Endorphins, you have to get your endorphins going.
Yeah.
Okay?
What about fighting with your sister?
Huh?
What about fighting with your sister?
Right, but that's
Confrontation.
what I said, is that arguments.
Yes.
That's
And
arguments.
they,
So you have to call me after the session. We'll straighten that out. Okay? I mean, obviously, what can you do? Okay, what you can do is like this. I'll give you an answer. I don't want you to think I'm... Okay, one answer is like this. You could say, sister, I love you, you love me, you love each other, right?
It's not.
Stop that.
I know, but I don't want to put them on the spot.
Oh, they love each other.
Excuse me, that's what sisters do.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a positive thought. Okay.
That's the whole point of having new sisters.
Sorry.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much.
Very, very well. Okay. So, you can call a truce. You can say, look, you know something? Right now, this is what Jews do, right? This is what New Yorkers do. Remember, in a blackout in New York, all of a sudden everybody's friendly with each other, right? You know, we're in a war. It's a time to not fight. There's enough fighting in Gaza. We don't have to fight at home. That's a good idea, right? And to know that the truth is that you love each other. Even though sometimes you fight and can't stand each other. Okay? But you know something? Even if you don't love each other, it's not really rocking with each other. You know, life's tough enough. Okay? But you know something? You guys can say, look, I know you can do something for me that'll make me happy. And I know that it goes in both directions. So see if we can create a partnership. We can talk about that. Beyond that, I can't talk about that. I gave you some quick answers. Okay. Intimate relations can be a stress reducer. And it's important to know how to deal with that because sometimes people under stress, they want their space. So it's something to look at and be aware of. That's the important thing, is of being aware so that you can then have relationship to it and take responsibility. Okay. What time is it?
So 12, 11.
We're after 12? Okay. Give me a moment. We're going to wrap it. Didn't speak about PTSD and stress syndrome, so I'm going to speak very quickly about it, okay? There are all kinds of stress symptoms that people get. It could be headaches, it could be stomach aches, it could be IBS, it could be herpes, it could be all kinds of different things, psychological, emotional, cognitive, all kinds of things of stress, okay? I wanted to talk about that more today, but we started late because we didn't have the bar call, and we did a lot of personal issues and sharing. It's important that if you're having any kind of physiological, emotional, or cognitive, or even spiritual symptoms, you might not realize that it's related to stress. So it's important to figure out, it's important to figure out if what you're experiencing has to do with stress, and there are very good ways of reducing it, okay? Obviously, I really like hypnosis and learning self-hypnosis. It's a great stress reducer. Yoga, biofeedback, therapeutic horseback riding,
Cartoons.
Music.
Massage.
Now my wife medical massage and healing.
It's great.
And by the way, she's done something amazing during this war. If anybody knows, she only works with women, that if you know somebody, a woman who has either a child or a husband in Gaza, free massage. Okay. So if you're having some kind of symptom, do something about it. Don't let it linger. Do something about it. Okay? Close your eyes a moment. Take a deep breath. And appreciate yourself for coming today. Just appreciate yourself for being alive. Appreciate life and God, for being alive, for being healthy, for being here. I sincerely hope that I provided for you things that are good for you. Take them home with you. Spread them around. Share them. Be loving to yourselves. Be loving with each other. Bless us all that we should have an everlasting peace. And know that what we're going through now, Gamzu Tovah, and to be blessed to be able to see the good in everything that's happening. And with those things that we can't understand, don't get stuck. Focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. And remember to create every hour. Ask yourself, I need now to create a positive, healing